o'clock today, Governor Henry McMaster was sworn in once again for his second full term in office for South Carolina's 98th gubernatorial inauguration. Now, Darci, just like you said, if he finishes this term, because he took over for then Governor Nikki Haley's term, he will be South Carolina's longest serving governor. Yes, let's get over to our News 19 Zoe Henry, who has a very interesting perspective of this, very close to the scene. And Zoe, if people are paying attention and they've been watching us since 4:30, the same exact cars that were sitting behind you when we checked in with you at 4:30 are still there. Explain to folks what we see in your perspective.
We have team coverage from Colleton County with Sam Perez talking with people in that area, but we're going to start with News 19's Rachel Ripp, who has the details on today's proceedings.
We're going to talk about some racing, Darci, but not the racing you think, right?
I know. On your mark, get set, go. It is time for the Kinetic Derby in West Columbia, where the race to first place begins tomorrow.
All right, that is right. It is the city's unique take on the Soapbox Derby, and it's going to be taking over some of the busiest parts of West Columbia. So there are some things that you should be looking at if you live in the area tomorrow and are going to be out and about. The race will be held on Meeting Street, which will be shut down from Sunset Boulevard all the way down to 9th Street. Several different blocks of State Street are also going to be closed to traffic. The day begins with the Kinetic Sculpture Parade before dozens of racers will take over Meeting Street. Should be so much fun. And our News 19's Rachel Ripp got to speak with an awesome girl group that we know is going to perform great in the race. Rachel. Our News 19's Darci Strickland. Gosh, it's such a beautiful shot, Darci, with what looks to be like moving screens behind you with videos telling stories. Tell us about the museum.
Andrea, JR, this is literally what visitors will see when they come through the front doors of the International African American Museum.
Yes, Darci and I do have on the same dress. No, we did not plan this.
Yes,
I don't know
it
how
happened
we keep
again.
Doing this. It's the same designer, it's the same dress, it's just a different color.
And mine short sleeves. So here's the thing. I saw her in a cut-in around 12 o'clock this afternoon.
We were actually texting about something
and I
else.
was like, I'm not changing.
She was like, she texted me, she was like, I'm not changing. I was like, that's fine. Because people now expect this from us. They expect us to look ridiculous.
And here's the other thing. I also said this in the text message. There are only so many dresses in the world. Like, even if we had every dress that was ever made.
Like, we still would be twinsies some days.
Some days it's going to happen. And so it happened again today, but we still don't look as ridiculous as we did the day that we both.
Nothing is as bad as the snakeskin day.
Yeah.
Nothing. I mean, that was horrific. I couldn't even focus on the news that day.
If you changed the channel that day, we're not blaming you. It was cringy. It was cringy. So hopefully this is not quite as bad.
We're posting it on our Instagram right now, though, so you can get a closer look at the dresses. You can follow her at Darci Strickland, me at Andrea Mock SC. We'll be right back. And a beautiful tree it is, JR, but wait a minute. You don't get away with this so easily because you forgot somebody on the list. Please ask Santa if JR Berry has made it to the naughty or nice list.
All right, so the ladies back at the station want to know if I've made it on the naughty or nice list.
Well, that's going to be a surprise for you on Christmas morning.
I'm not sure what to expect now. I'm not sure.
That doesn't sound good.
It could be cold. It could be cold. Just make sure to leave that stocking out.
He could have simply said, "You've been good." Nope, Santa didn't do it.
Aw, so it's okay.
We appreciate it. Thanks anyway.
Now, our hope is that the person who was in that vehicle has already moved out of this vehicle. They're not still waiting in their car trying to get some help.
I don't know because I see that the windshield wipers are on.
The headlights are still on as well.
Yeah, the headlights are on and the windshield wipers on. Again, this is a live camera. We don't have control over this, so we can't zoom in or anything, but it does appear there's still a person in that car. Of course, we're going to keep looking at this and let you know, but there's a live look at the radar right now, and you can see we are just getting slammed by precipitation.
We imagine in the next couple of minutes we should see first responders showing up, City of Columbia, Richland County firefighters showing up. The door is opening.
Oh, no!
And again, as we mentioned just a moment ago, we don't have control over the camera, so whoever has control over this camera is moving it. We should see first responders there. Unfortunately, they have a lot of experience in rescuing people specifically from this area. But
we are continuing to show you this live picture right there. That is at the intersection of Highway 1 and 20 in Lexington County, where there was a gas main break because of some construction there. Dominion Energy telling us in an email that it was a third party that was excavating in that area and accidentally hit a gas line.
This is a breaking news situation. J.R. Barry joins us now live to recap what has been happening over the last hour and a half in that area. J.R.
We have some breaking news to share with you.
We're starting in Richland County, where the Sheriff's Department has charged a gas station owner with murder in the shooting death of a 14-year-old boy. The incident happened last night around 8 on Springtree Drive off of Park Lane Road in Northeast Columbia.
Yeah, the coroner has now identified that boy as Cyrus Carmack Belton, and we do have team coverage tonight of this shooting, including a big community reaction. We're going to start with News 19's Becky Buds, who is live outside the Richland County Sheriff's Department with more. Becky?
Minutes ago, the Orangeburg County Sheriff held a press conference with an update on Aspen Jeter's disappearance and her mother's death.
Yeah, so far those in Orangeburg have been very tight-lipped about what they knew, but we did learn new details at the press conference tonight. News 19's Nija Hood is live in Orangeburg now with the very latest on why deputies are now searching for Aspen's biological father. Nija. Tonight we begin remembering the life, like Darci said, of fallen firefighter James Muller. Today we have team coverage for you from the processional to inside that funeral service to hear from some of those who served with him.
We're going to begin tonight with Sam Perez, as members of the firefighting community came from across the country, not just here in the Midlands, but from around the country to honor Muller's life. Sam. We want to make sure you guys at home are part of this conversation. If you have questions or you'd like to have answered, if you feel like you want to say something that is just heavy on your heart and you don't have anyone else to share it with, you can text us at 803-776-9508. We have a licensed counselor in the studio today. She's going to be answering your questions. And we also have a panel of high school students to talk to us more about how they're feeling today. They're the kids. Of course, they're on their cell phones.
Of course they are. They don't know they're on TV right now either.
Plus, they don't know that they're on TV, but that's what the kids do. They're on their cell phones.
This is a glimpse into all of our homes.
Exactly. Anybody with a teenager knows, yeah, this is exactly what they look like right now. But we're going to talk with these kids. We're going to have the tough conversation with them a little bit later in the newscast. It has been a very interesting, to put it lightly, day of testimony in the Alec Murdaugh double murder trial. We heard from Alec starting at 10 o'clock this morning up until now at 5:30.
Yes, I've actually been sitting out here listening to all of this, and I just want to get to a quick point that we just heard on the witness stand. Alec Murdaugh taking the stand in his own defense finally got to be questioned by Creighton Waters, and again, Darci, he made the point over and over again. He said, I've asked it 3 times and Alec hasn't answered it. He said, you sat down and looked somebody in the eye, somebody that trusted you, and explained to them that you were supposed to be helping them, all while you stole their money. 321 shut down in both directions there, north and south. The chief saying you need to take Wood Trail to Mack Street or Mack Street to Wood Trail if you're coming in the other direction.
It's the only way into Gaston. And so you can imagine the traffic nightmare it's going to be for folks who work or in Columbia and are trying to get home. Chief Meteorologist Efren Afonte is going to give us another look at how things are in that area. He's got traffic maps behind him, and it should help us a little closer, dig a little deeper into the detours and how to get around this.
We are back talking about tough conversations, how to talk with your kids at home and your students about what's happening at school, about these threats being called in and whether or not they feel safe. So we want to then send things over to our Darci Strickland, who is with several students and their parents from Richland District 1 and 2 about how they are feeling tonight. Darce.
Andrea, thank you so much. We're so lucky to have Kathy, Kayon, and Kaylee here, parents Kendra and Jermaine, to talk about the security concerns over the last couple of of days, we want to make sure that we're talking to our kids at home in a way that we get answers from them. And so the best way to do that is to bring the kids in, right, Kathy, and ask them what's the right way to handle this. So I know you're a student over at Spring Valley, senior class president. Yes, I think I gave you the promotion of student body president, but you deserve it. So senior class president, you've been at school over the last several days when this is happening. Talk to me about what it feels like to be at school in the middle of this.